Hello and welcome to week 2 of English 120. This week we're going to continue to learn how to active read, and we're going to talk a little bit about who the real Jack London is. You're only going to have to read one short story. It's called The Law of Life. It's found in the Portable Jack London on page 26. We're going to have a discussion about Jack London, and we're going to write a reflective journal on close reading The Law of Life. So let's start off by talking about who's the real Jack London. I'd like you to begin by actively reading the introduction to the Portable Jack London, then reread the biographical essay on Jack London we read last week as well. Finally, actively read the following biography on Jack London from Jack London State Historic Park. When you're reading, you'll notice that each of these offers a different perspective on who Jack London was. One is based on a historian. Clarice Dawes is a historian. The other is written by a London scholar who studies his work, his literature. The other is a park, a state park, and so their perspective is really on where he lived. It offers you three different ways to look at Jack London. Then, using these three different perspectives and using evidence from the sources, that means using quotations from each of the articles, answer and debate the following questions as a class. Why do you think Jack London did not reveal that John London was his real father during his lifetime? How did society as a whole react to issues such as these during the early 1900s? Do you agree or disagree with Alfred Kasdan's statement that the greatest story Jack London ever wrote was the story he lived? Do you think Labour or Stas agrees with this statement? Why or why not? What kind of writing did Jack London write? After reading these articles, do you feel like you understand how Jack London died? What is socialism, and how did it affect Jack London's writing? What questions do you still have about Jack London? How could you go about finding answers? There are questions that you may not be able to answer directly. You may need to look at outside sources as well. Please make sure that you post your initial post by Friday at 11:59 p.m. and then respond to at least 3 of your peers' posts by Tuesday at 11:59 p.m. It's important too, whenever you post a discussion forum post, you use proper grammar, you check your spelling, and you begin with a greeting such as "Dear Class," and you end by signing your name. We're also going to be working on our active reading. You're going to be actively reading The Law of Life, which is found on pages 26 through 31 by Jack London. When you actively read, you should be writing all over the text. For some of you, this may be hard because you're not used to writing on text, right? But it's really important that you do write on this text. There's going to be words you don't know. There's going to be ideas that are difficult to understand and that you're going to have to come back to, because you will be coming back to this text. So remember, before you read, I'd like you to think about the title. So in this case, I want you to think about what the Law of Life, what does it tell you about the text? What do you predict this story will be about just based on that title? Then I want you to think about who wrote the text. You know a little bit about Jack London now, so think about what it could possibly, what knowing something about him tells you about this text. Why would he be writing a story called Law of Life, in your opinion? What kind of writing is this? What genre is it? It's a short story, it's fiction, and I can tell you that it was published in McClure's magazine first in March 1900. That's important to know because it tells you what time period this was written in. Something that was written in March of 2000 would be quite different from something written in March 1900. Then while you're reading, I want you to circle words that you don't know and to look them up. We have access at Napa Valley College to the Oxford English Dictionary. Use it, or use dictionary.com, or use an actual physical dictionary. You can mark words or passages that make you think about things you've already read. Maybe something reminds you of something you read about Jack London's biography. You can mark words or passages that bring to mind personal experiences and write these personal experiences down. You can mark passages that you agree with or you disagree with, and then state why you disagree or agree with them. Mark difficult passages so you can come back to them. Mark passages you really like, and note why you like the passages. Mark parts of the text that highlight the main theme of the text and explain how you think these passages do so. If you get lost, just try to summarize what's being said, or go back and read it again. Finally, I want you to ask questions throughout. Ask the author questions. Ask Jack London questions while you're reading his story. Ask yourself questions, or ask the actual characters of the text questions. When you're done reading this story, I want you to take a photograph of your active reading that shows the hard work you've done writing all over your story. If you're not able to do so, you can also stop by my office hours. Remember, I have office hours on Mondays and Wednesdays from 9:30 to 11, and also on Tuesdays from 11 till 12:30 and 1:30 to 2:30. Those times don't work for you. You can always contact me to try to make an appointment. You will upload a photo of your active reading as part of your journal this week. Speaking of journal, after you've actively read that story, I'd like you to think about I'd like you to think very deeply about some questions in regards to the story. Each week, as you know, you're going to be given a prompt and asked to write about, to answer these questions. For this week's journal entry, I'd like you to use your active reading of The Law of Life, upload a photo of your active reading notes, and then answer the following questions about the text in a post that's at least 250 words. You want to use evidence from the text, those are quotations, to support the answers that you're giving. If you do not use evidence from the text, you will lose points. So who is Kush Kush? Who was he before he found himself alone in the snow with a small pile of firewood? Where does the story take place? How do you know? And I'd like you to really research where this place is. Once you have that information, I want you to go on Google Maps and find it. What is the tradition that Kush Kush is continuing by staying? What do you think is the law of life? How is Kush Kush's life shaped by heredity and environment over which he has no control and about which he can exercise little, if any, choice? How is Kush Kush's experience with fire different from the man in To Build a Fire? This is a question we will come back to next week when we're reading To Build a Fire. Your journal entry is due on Tuesday at 11:59 p.m. You must turn your post in on time to receive full credit. Please make sure you use spell check and you edit your response before you post it. Please make sure that you have already completed your first research module, orientation and overview. You will actually be turning in your next one next week, so stay tuned. I'm giving you a bonus week to get this done. Next week, you will be studying Man versus Nature and understanding research as a conversation. We'll be looking at Chapter 1 of the Bedford Researcher. You're going to be talking about what the academic essay is. You're going to watch a video by Cecilia Ticci, and we're going to talk about To Build a Fire by Jack London. As always, if you have any questions after watching this video, please feel free to send me an email or stop by my office hours. I look forward to seeing you online.